Hello and welcome to this Teams Nations interviewing the speakers here, episode 2, and we have Megan here with us today, who's going to be introducing herself, talking a little bit about her talk that she's doing at Teams Nation, and then giving us a bit of insight into who she is, so you can get to know her before the event. So Megan, great to have you here today. It's a bit early where you are, a bit later where I am, but it's great to have you on board here. Do you want to just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. My name's Megan. I'm based in Melbourne, Australia, and I'm an organisational change manager. So I'm an independent consultant and I engage with organisations who basically need help helping their staff work better with the tools. And so my focus is broader strategy and talking to organisations about their kind of benchmark and their roadmap with the tools to then target deeper in areas to help get more value and use with the tools. So I have a big focus on strategy, communication and learning.
Brilliant stuff. So what would be like your number one tip for people trying to move on with that adoption and strategy side of things?
Oh, just one. Understand people's needs. Don't go at it with the approach of this is the tool, use it. Talk to people about what they're trying to achieve in their job day to day and think about how the tool can enhance it and make their day better.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Awesome. So you are a Microsoft MVP, and that is by your jacket. How long have you been an MVP for?
I became an MVP January 2020, so for a couple of years now.
Brilliant. So have you been involved in much public speaking previously?
Previously, not really. So my job, though, has always involved an element of public speaking, whether it be, facilitating workshops, doing presentations to clients from a sales perspective, or educating people on tools. So I've always been in front of people. So with public speaking, it was just something that I just decided, you know what, I'm going to give that a try. I guess I like to challenge myself. So it just seemed like it could be fun.
Oh, brilliant stuff. So is this your first time at Teams Nation, isn't it, speaking?
No,
no, it's not. Okay, so you spoke before.
Yeah, about 3 years running. So my husband Lauren and I, we always present together. It's just become a tradition at Teams Nation. He's a governance expert, I'm an adoption expert, and we always find a way to talk about how the two work together. So I think, originally some of our sessions were about that play on the fact that we're married and having the ideal marriage of adoption and governance. Last year we talked about a centre of excellence model. The year before it was deep in the pandemic. I think we're a bit negative. We talked about bad projects. So yeah, we've done it. It's the conference that we always say, let's do this one together, because we just really enjoy doing that.
Amazing. I bet that's a great duo of, like you said, the security and then the adoption, because usually from previous experience when speaking with organizations, they always try and derail the two, but someone always wants more secure, everything locked down, which then results in the adoption not being so strong. People can't do as they please. So I bet you've had your clashes along the way then around that.
We do, but it's interesting. What's actually worse about it is I go into organizations and I have, we've worked in the same business, he and I, for a long time. And then I'll go into a client organization and expect the IT people to be as open and transparent and sort of connected with me as he and I are when we work together. And then it'll be, oh, okay, they don't know who I am. They don't know what I'm trying to achieve. So I have to build that rapport again. So there's sort of that negative as well, that we know each other so well that I have to work harder when I work with other people.
Brilliant. Okay, so you are talking this year at Teams Nation. What is your talk on and what's it about?
So a lot of organizations talk about organization capability. Particularly over the last few years, we've seen such a rise in use of Teams. And so what we're talking about is just a bit of a model that people can take into their organization to think about assessing their capability. So what do we want people to do? Do we want them to be advanced users of meetings or just basic, because they just need to have calls? So we're presenting a bit of a model or a matrix structure on how to review your capability in your organization. One of our things in the last few years with Teams Nation is we like to think of where we start with what's a takeaway. We want people to come to our session and actually go, I can apply that back in my company. And so this year it's a bit about, where are we at and where do we need to shift the needle?
Brilliant. That's always good. So with your talk, you're sort of working backwards. You know what you want to achieve or what you want people to take away, and then working backwards on how to get that message to them.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Look, really looking forward to catching that one then. So you've spoke at Teams Nation before. What draws you to apply to talk at Teams Nation and attend? And what would you say to someone if they were saying, "Oh, I'm looking at attending an event or talking at an event," and you were talking about Teams Nation? What would attract them to it?
I just love that it's just created and run by a group of experts. I'm trying to say men, maybe. Maybe they should get another woman in there. No,
maybe they should. Yeah, I'll make that suggestion.
Oh no. So it's run by a group of people who are just focused on, I guess, sharing content. It's free, so it's run by community people. I love that there's no sell. There's no big thing. It's just we're just producing something that people will get a lot out of, and the people that pull it together, I think they do an amazing job. I've spoken at a few conferences, particularly virtual ones, the last few years, and from the word go, even the communication and the preparation is really fantastic. So it's actually a lovely experience to be putting the work into this event and being part of it.
Amazing. I'm sure Chris and the other guys will be smiling ear to ear listening to this.
Yeah, well, I did actually send Chris or the guys an email the other day because they sent us an email as speakers, congratulations. And it was almost like at the sidelines of the football, revving up the team. And it was, talking about how much they value us, the people who are getting involved and giving their time. And so that's the thing. They really do appreciate what they're pulling together, and you can tell they're so passionate about it. So it's good to give back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've done moderating at Teams Nation for a couple of years and then came quite recently into helping the guys out. And you're exactly right there. The thing that I see from them is that it's always about the speakers. It's never about organisers. The emphasis of Teams Nation is on the speakers. So it's great that you're coming back with that same feeling and saying that. So that's good to hear. Okay, so you've spoke at a few events over the years. Then, what would be like your number one tip to someone who's quite new or hasn't spoken at an event and feels they want to do it but they haven't done it before, a bit nervous around it? What would be your number one tip?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think just assume you can do it. If you're really good at your job, you're not going to be completely green and be, early in the industry and not confident in your job. And, if you've got experience and a story to tell, just give it a go. That's all I did. And so if you feel comfortable putting yourself out there on the stage or virtually, you can do a really polished presentation. It doesn't matter if you haven't done it for 10 years, because obviously you want to do a good job. So that's key. But if you think you can present to your company or to a team at work and you've got a story to tell, whether it's great experiences to do with the technology and things like that, then just give it a go, because there's loads of good speakers out there, regardless of how long they've been in the industry and what they do.
Brilliant. That is a brilliant tip to give to people. And Doug's right on cue and agreeing as well. Excellent stuff. Okay, so this has been brilliant. Fun about your talk, a little bit about yourself, what you've been doing and so on. I've got two questions for you, completely random questions, but we like to ask these questions just so people get a bit of an insight into that. So what is your favourite film of all time?
Film? Oh, I love some of the classics from childhood. I would say Indiana Jones is something that I can't wait to show my kids. So that's Superman and the original Star Wars. So some of the movies that lately I've been excited about. So I would say the first Indiana Jones is one of my favorite films of all time. Yeah,
which one? Is there a particular one of the series of Indiana Jones?
The least scary. Yeah. I think the first one, but I'd have to see. I've been waiting to watch them with my kids who are now just getting old enough. But
yeah,
the one that's the least horrifying that those scenes when you're a kid that you're like, tell me when it's over. Yeah.
I always remember there's the Temple of Doom one, isn't it? At the end, where the man turns into a skeleton. I always remember absolutely loved that film. But like I say, as a kid, it was always that last little bit. It was like, I don't want to watch that bit.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. No, Indiana Jones, big fan of Indiana Jones films, really good. Have you seen the most recent one as well? He did recently when he was a bit older.
I actually don't know. I'm going to look that up when I get off this call. That's my weekend. There you go.
Definitely, yeah. He did one. I can't remember. It must be in the last 5 or so years. But that's definitely worth a watch, because it's always one of those ones where they revisit. And it's going to be as good as the originals, but it's still quite good.
it's a risk going back and redoing them. Sorry, George Lucas, as Mr. Spielberg. But some of the originals, just because they had that impact. Like, I believe when my mum first saw Superman in the 70s, she had like a heart palpitation or something, because it was just such an impactful movie and it's such a big deal. So I love going back and sort of thinking, having that experience again.
Brilliant, brilliant. And then one final question for you then. What is your favourite food dish? Like, if you had one food you could turn to that you could eat, what would it be?
Oh, pizza comes to mind. I'm not a big pizza eater, but we love Italian food in this house. And we actually, being Australian, this might sound ridiculous, we cook our pizza on our Weber barbecue.
Brilliant.
So it's really good. And it's sweet and savoury. You know, you can put Nutella and strawberries on a pizza, or banana.
Nutella and strawberry. I've never heard of that before. Are you a pineapple and ham kind of person then as well then?
Definitely classics. Just like
no.
No, we have my husband's been through lockdowns. That's like been a passion, something he has dived into in the backyard. So lots of pizzas on the pizza stone in the Weber barbecue. We've experimented. Schnitzel sliced up on pizza was not a good day. But yeah, I think definitely pizza. Although after it being 3 meals a day for a week, I might change my mind.
You've got all the selection there. It sounds like you've experimented quite a bit with different toppings, so I don't think you'd get bored.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, well, brilliant, Megan. Thank you very much for your time. Been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, getting to know you a bit more. As you said, people can catch her on the 23rd of March at Teams Nation. We do have 140 sessions, 170 speakers. The event is 100% free and 100% ran by the community for the community. So Megan, thank you very much for your time today. And until next time, I'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Paul. See you soon.